Hey guys, so I'm done rinsing out my mannequin. Y'all ready to start the haircut?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna work on a 90s pop Bixie. I'm so excited for this because with Russ, we're always coming out with innovative techniques. And this is gonna be something that 2022 is going to be seeing a lot of. We're gonna be seeing it all over Instagram, Modern Salon Magazine, Facebook, all the things. All right, so what we're gonna start off with is zone 1. We're gonna start from the occipital bone, which is the bump in the back of the head, down to the nape, the neck. We're gonna take 1-inch subsections. And when we do this, we want to start off with the hair coming straight out of the head. And what we're gonna do as we're doing these subsections is we're gonna be traveling around with the head shape. So we don't want these 1-inch subsections to start to droop or go down. Do y'all understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember.
So straight out from the head?
Exactly.
Okay.
We want this to be straight out of the head. Now, when we're coming out straight out of the head, we're going to be point cutting. Have any of y'all point cut it before?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
It looks hard.
All right. Now, after that section, how does that feel? Are y'all comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Try
Again.
it again.
Again, we are taking a 1-inch subsection and coming straight out of the head. What are we gonna do, guys? Another subsection and then what?
Pull straight out from the head.
Straight out of the head. And we're not gonna let it what?
Drop. I'm not gonna let it drop. Why are we holding our hands like that?
We are holding our hands like this so we have control.
Okay.
So you can see here I'm putting my comb between my ring finger and my pinky.
Okay.
So it's out of the way. And so that you can see where I'm point cutting, and I'm point cutting this way, and I'm actually resting the blades kind of where my fingers are so I can have control of not cutting myself, and so I know that I'm not going to have that subsection droop down.
Awesome.
Because like I said, straight out of the head. You want to keep that in mind every time you take a subsection out so you don't let the hair fall. With this haircut, we are actually creating our own shape with the mannequin's head shape. Straight out of the head. And after y'all learn this haircut, I always feel like when I learn something new and go back to the salon, then I can always take this back and feel inspired. I don't get burnt out of doing hair. Who else feels that way when they learn something new?
Yes, it always feels good to go
Right,
back.
right. So now, let me ask you this. How many haircuts do you do with the color?
What do you mean? Say that again?
Like whenever you have a color service, are you doing a haircut on every color service?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much,
pretty
yeah.
much.
You don't ever have like the clients that wait to come back or just get their color done?
I have some that just get color sometimes.
Right, yeah. So I feel like whenever you learn a new haircut, then you can always up that price too.
Oh, most definitely.
Right. Again, we're just point cutting. And now we're going to take our last subsection, 1-inch subsection, and bring it straight out.
And these are vertical, right?
Yes, they are vertical.
Okay.
Good question. All right. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that movement that's starting to happen?
Looks good.
Check that out. I love it. This is going to be a very fun, easy haircut that you're going to learn. Now, let me just wet the hair a little bit because we want to keep it saturated. when you keep the hair saturated during a haircut, you're creating consistency. Consistency is key.
I feel like I have a lot more control too if it's
Right,
all wet and
right,
stuff.
yeah.
So would you rather do this on wet hair or is
You could do it on dry hair. We're doing it on
Okay.
wet hair since we just rinsed her out from that color.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to step into zone 2. Zone 2 is going to be from the occipital bone down to the parietal ridge, which is the horseshoe shape of the back of the head, to the brow bone. Y'all have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
No? All right, now let's get our clean section, nice clean section going. Gonna put a little bit more water because we want her real saturated. And we're just gonna comb that hair down as we're creating this section. Can y'all see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. We want to get all that hair out the way and nicely comb that down. How does that look for y'all? Y'all can see? Okay. Now with zone 2, we are going to start in the center subsection of the back of the head. And as you have cut zone 1, you are going to take a piece of that guide, or take a piece of that as a guide, so you can start your first 1 inch subsection into zone 2. Okay? And you're going to continue to point cut this area as well.
Okay, I was wondering how we determined our length.
Right. We're going to determine our length by grabbing some of the hair from zone 1 as a guide. Correct?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right, guys.
And
Can
is
y'all
this
see?
still straight out from the head like those zone 1?
It is exactly going to be the same way.
Okay.
Straight out from the head. Now, whenever we do get near the ear, we are going to stop cutting there, and we don't want to cut from the ear to the parietal ridge. We're going to do something different once we get there. So from the occipital bone to the back of the ear, we're going to take it straight out into 1 inch subsections.
Okay.
Does that
Glad
make
you
sense?
said that, 'cause I was going to cut her ear off.
We don't want you to do that. She'll go home without an ear.
She can go to the ER. It's okay.
Oh gosh. Y'all are a fun class. All right. Again, we're going to be point cutting. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Keeping the hand straight out. We want control, so we're going to lay that comb in between the pinky and the ring finger, and I'm point cutting these 1 inch subsections. How does that look so far? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is it easy to follow?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
absolutely.
How's it going for you guys?
I'm loving this. I never knew about the zones.
Right, and it makes much more sense to learn that way. Am I correct? It makes it easier.
Yeah.
And again, so what was that?
Yeah, I had never cut hair like that before.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so again, we're going to take these 1 inch subsections. And point cut. I like to keep my hand, to keep the hair in control this way, where my knuckles are facing up and my palm facing out. Again, straight out of the head. I feel like once you repeatedly say that to yourself, then you won't lose that train of thought of it, you know, because you don't want the hair to droop down. You want it to
Like riding a bike.
Exactly. You want it straight out of the head. All right. Another section done. We have about 2 more sections before we get to the ear part, okay?
Okay.
Because we don't want to cut her ear off.
Stop saying that. I think you need to be kicked out of my class. All right, straight out of the head. And point cutting. go. All right, now let's take our last 1-inch subsection. You see her ear is here.
Yes.
So we're not gonna cut that off. Pro tip, whenever you're like point cutting, you want to think of it as kind of chipping, notching.
Okay.
So, because it kind of makes that little chipping noise, if y'all can hear that. And again, straight out of the head, comb between the ring finger and the pinky finger for control, and we're point cutting. Drop some of that hair out so we don't cut ourselves. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that shape. Check that out.
Looks
I'm
cute.
getting excited now. All right, now that we've gotten to the ear, remember I said we were gonna stop cutting when we got to the back of the ear. Now that we're here, now that we reached the top of the ear, we are going to grab a 1-inch subsection, just like we did before on zone 1 at the beginning of zone 2. Saturation is key. We're going to take a 1-inch subsection again, but this time when we bring the hair straight out, we are going to over direct towards the back of the head. We want to keep and conserve some of the length in the front, because remember, we're not doing a whole pixie cut. It's between a pixie and a bob. We're going for the new 90s pop Bixie cut. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, straight out of the head with our 1-inch subsection, right above the ear, we are going to over direct it, put that there, and here we are going to take all that length off. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Again, taking all that length off. Straight out, over direct, and remove that length. How did that feel for you guys?
Good.
Is it working out for y'all guys? Is it
Yes,
comfortable?
it is.
Awesome. Now, we are only taking 3 1-inch subsections in this ear area. So that was our first one, and here goes our second one.
You over directing this whole section?
We are over directing each of these sections. Yes, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Getting this hair out the way. Now, we're taking our second 1-inch subsection, and we are going to bring this straight out, and then do what?
Over direct?
Over direct
To
towards
the
which way?
back.
The back.
Towards the back.
The back.
Correct.
Not the front.
And we are going to remove that length. Out and over direct. Removing length. Really excited for this to be done because it is a really fun haircut. With Russ, we are always finding innovative ways to change the techniques for new things coming, you know? Making it fun. Don't want to get stuck doing the same thing behind the chair.
No, that's boring.
Thank you.
Straight out the
I
head.
like boring.
Over directing. No, hairdressers are never in for a point time. If you know what I mean. All right, y'all see that? Do y'all see that shape we created there?
Yeah.
All right, so now again, what did we do here?
We over directed to the back.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Okay, now we are going to move into the zone 3. Zone 3 is going to be where we are going to start at the top of the head and up. So we're going to take our parietal ridge and work our way up. Okay?
Okay.
So now we are actually going to, let me saturate first because we need all the water.
Yes.
And our
She
body on the
thirsty.
hair. Ooh, she's thirsty. So we want to make sure she's fully saturated. All right, now let's start by combing all that down. We're going to be creating a horizontal section now. Okay, we are going to take a 1-inch subsection, but we are going to be working in a horizontal shape instead of vertical. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, so
Okay,
switching
cool.
it up.
Yes, we are. We are going to change the way that we are going to cut.
Does it make a difference?
It actually does, and I'll get to that in just a second, okay? So we are going to take the hair towards the parietal ridge, and we're going to take our first subsection, and we are going to section that out, and we are going to comb that hair down. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
We want to get all this extra hair that we're not going to cut yet out the way. Nice, clean partings. Okay?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now again, we are going to take water. We are going to take the hair from the back of the ear and just comb it towards the back. All right? Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
We are going to take a 1-inch subsection. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to bring it out and create a horizontal shape. And once we have that, we want to keep our hand about 1 inch from the ends from our previous guide that was cut in zone 2. Okay? The reason being is because we want to now go in and do a deep point cutting.
Okay.
Do y'all want to know why?
Yes.
Or do y'all have an idea why?
For the weight?
Yes. So with this, we are going to be creating weight. We are going to be creating some movement layers so we can finish the cut. As you can see here, we are starting with where the hair is laying, and then you can see that there's some movement starting to happen. Where here we're going to have our most weight.
Okay.
Since we're moving towards the top of the head with this cut. Make sense?
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Cool. So again, first subsection in our horizontal way, going to go in and we are going to deep point cut. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And check that out.
Almost like bounces up.
Right? Bounce, 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 bounce. We are going to take another section, get some of the hair from the previous zone, which was zone 2, as our guide, and we're going to bring the hair straight out in a horizontal way, and we're going to deep point cut. Any questions, guys?
No, I think we're good.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and we are going in and deep point cutting. And just keeping the hair straight out. Getting rid of all that length.
Looks
Mhm.
good.
I like it.
Good. Now, whenever we have these horizontal sections going on, what we're doing is we are going to create the strongest amount of texture in zone 3. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lots of texture, huh?
Right. We want all the texture as we start to move up to the top of the head. All right. Go in and we're going to deep point cut that part. You know, haircuts don't have to be boring. You can make them as fun as you want. And I feel like with that, in the learning process of a new cut, you're able to create, get out of your comfort zone, out of your box of the normal hair trims, layers, you know, that we do every day or are used to doing. So always stay learning. You learn to grow. All right, now that we're getting to the top of the head, we are going to create our fringe.
Is this still zone 3?
Yes, it is still
Okay.
zone 3. We're going to comb the hair all the way forward towards the parietal ridge.
Okay.
And as we're doing that, I want to saturate. Keep the hair wet. We don't want it to get dry. Do y'all know how we figure out the fringe? Do you know?
No.
No? Okay, so how do we find the fringe? We start where your head starts to curve back, and we want to set the comb. Do y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
So,
easy.
yeah. So where you see the hair start to curve back, then you can see that you want to take a section, a triangular section, down towards the parietal ridge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to comb the rest of the hair back. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So now that we have that first triangular subsection created, we are going to take a triangle inside of a triangle to create the fringe.
Okay.
Okay?
Kind of like a Twilight Zone.
Does it?
A triangle inside of a
It's
triangle.
a triangle inside of a triangle. So what we're going to do is take a smaller triangle within a big triangle in the center to create your length. And we're going to take a 1/2 inch subsection. And we are going to comb down. We're going to keep this one twirled apart and out the way. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're going to comb all this down. And as we're doing this, we're going to have control again. Control. And we are going to take the length off. We're going to create our perimeter guide. Okay? So let's go in and we are going to take that length off. All right? You see how that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that make sense? Is it
Mm-hmm.
making
Yeah,
sense
so
to
you
you guys?
point
Yeah,
cut that
it did.
first section.
Right, to take off the length. And then what we are going to do after that, we are going to create another 1/2 inch subsection, which was the other piece of the triangle, the big
Okay.
triangle.
Big triangle.
So we took a little triangle out of a big triangle. Now we're taking that first piece to create a guide, or to take a piece of the previous cut piece to have our guide with the rest of the big triangle.
Gotcha.
And when we do that, we are going to bring the hair out straight from the head. And then we are going to start creating some texture. And when I say that, well, by doing so, we are going to be slide cutting, okay? Have you ever heard of slide cutting?
I think so, but I've never seen it in person.
Okay. So we're going to take that and find our guide. Uh-oh, the hair fell. And we are going to hold the hair up. Right there. And we are going to take our blade. And you see how it's open? We're going to keep that open so we can slide cut and remove that length. Easy? How does that feel in y'all's hands?
Looks like fun.
Yeah, this looks like fun.
All right? And we are going to slide cut that length off. As you can see, it's creating texture.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to have a blunt look to it. That's not what this haircut is. All right?
Yep.
Y'all see how that shape is starting to come out?
Yeah, it almost curves around your face.
Right. Now that we have that done, we are going to take pie sections. Sorry guys, trying to move my mannequin. We're going to take pie sections from the back of the head. Straight out from the head. And we're going to point cut or slide, whichever you're more comfortable with at this point. I'm going to continue to slide since that's how we started the front part, okay? The French part. You see that? You're just gonna remove the length like that. pie sections. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so are you doing it all the same length and just sliding it?
Right.
Looking at the guide?
Until I
Okay.
get to the front of the head,
Gotcha.
the parietal ridge. So we're going to start from the occipital bone and take our pie sections and take some of that previous cut hair as our guide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we are taking it straight out from the head.
Okay, sounds good.
And we are working vertical and not horizontal at this point.
Okay, back
We
to
changed.
vertical. Okay,
Right.
Gotcha.
We change back
For the
just
pie.
like zone 1. So now that we're in zone 3, at the top of the head, behind the fringe, since that's the way we work, we are going to take it vertical and continue to slide cut.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah.
And so whenever you slide cut, you can see that there's texture being created. Like I said before, we don't want a blunt look. Creating a blunt look will have it very, very weighted, and we don't want it to be like that right now. Not for this haircut and look we're going for.
So basically your horizontal cut gave you the shape, and now you're going back to vertical
Right.
to give it like graduation layering within.
Some graduation and some texture, because this haircut is actually going to be textured also whenever it's styled and blow dried, because we want a lot of movement for this Bixie cut. Does that make
Texture's
sense?
really in.
Yeah,
Yes, it is. Movement, texture, layering.
it's fun.
Oh, very fun. I always need my hair cut and textured. Well, I always need mine textured when I get it cut because it's so thick, you know?
Yes. Create more movement.
Yes. So again, sliding and removing all that length. How do y'all feel about this?
Good.
Again, we are taking the hair straight out. We're going to take it straight up and remove the length by sliding. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to over direct it towards the back. And now that we're back in the fringe, we're going to hold this piece of the hair up. Okay? We're going to hold it up and we're going to over direct it towards the back. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
That needs to come off right there. Okay. Now let's take our last piece here, and we are going to hold it up and over direct and slide cut that out. Remove all that length so we can go back and texture that later. Can you see that starting to happen? Okay, now that we've gotten that done, we are going to move to the top of the head, which I would say like the top of the occipital bone, the top of the head. We are going to take it, let me remove this clip. We're going to take 1 inch horizontal sections on the top of the head to remove some points, okay? And by that, we are actually going to start point cutting again. Do y'all remember the point cutting in zone 1? All right. We are going to hold all this hair up, straight up, and we are going to be removing all of that right there by point cutting. Now, point cutting, you can move any way you want. It depends on your blade. So this blade I'm using, it's going to maneuver and swivel with my thumb, so I'm able to work wherever it's comfortable for you guys, okay? All right, let's take that straight up, and we are going to point cut all that length off right there. All the texture we want to be created. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Take another section.
I'm excited to see this Bixie.
Yes. Oh, yes. And we're going to point cut that out.
I'm gonna cut my mama's hair like that tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah. I can't wait to see it.
Mama's always need a new look. My mom needs her hair
Yes,
done right now
my
so
mama.
bad.
My
I'm
mama
like,
needs
when
a
are you going to
new
make an appointment and get in?
look.
And I don't even charge her. All right. And we're going to point cut that out. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Take all that out, guys. Another 1-inch subsection. Hold the hair straight up and point cut this right out. She has a lot of hair.
Yeah, she
So
does.
she's gonna need a lot of texture. All right, let's take that up. And what we're gonna do now is point cut that out. Easy?
Yeah, easy peasy.
All right, do y'all see that? What do y'all think?
She looks good.
Okay, now I'm going to show y'all something else that y'all don't see a lot of times. What this is going to be called is access cutting. So as you can see here, after all of the zones we went through, the techniques that I've showed you, we want to take this hair and we want to comb it down. We want to take our hair and comb it down. And we want to start to piece some access cutting. We want to start access cutting these long, heavy pieces to create more texture and movement. You understand?
Okay, yeah.
Do y'all want to know why we're going to do that?
No.
No?
No. No.
You don't want to know
Yes,
why.
you do.
Yes, you do, because
I want to know.
she has so much hair and a lot of weight at the top and the parietal ridge that we want to access cut. So when you're access cutting, you're actually going to open your shear and open your blades to where the hair is going to sit in between the V, the point of the V,
like a
of
sandwich.
the blades. Yeah, like a sandwich, correct. So the blades are the bread and the hair is the meat.
Oh, I like that.
So you'll see here, I'm going to start slightly opening and closing the shear and removing length to create texture. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm slightly opening and closing the blades so I can create texture. I see it's still heavy right here. So here I'm going to create more texture. Does that look easy? Would y'all be scared to try this in the salon on y'all's clients?
Oh, yes, but I'll try it on the mannequin first.
You always want to practice on a mannequin.
I don't know if I'm ready to do it to my mama yet.
Oh, oh no. Why not?
It's scary.
You're going to slightly open and close the blades and create that texture. Did you say it's scary?
Yeah, it's scary because if I mess up, she's scary.
Okay,
My
don't
mama
do that.
mean.
Well, don't do that then.
No.
And it's cool learning these techniques because this is a signature cut done by you in your salon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one else can get it.
Right. Can you see that? All right, just doing some finishing touches at the moment. Getting some of that weight out. And don't be afraid, because you can see the movement starting to happen. She needs all the texture she can get with this thick hair. And once you start using this technique more, or these little movements with the blade in your hand, you'll get more comfortable with this cut.
Can you do this on dry hair too?
Absolutely. This can
Okay.
be done on dry hair. Like I said, she's got damp hair now, but we started the cut on wet hair because we had just rinsed out that color. Just want to go in and create movement and texture where she needs it most. Can you see that? And what is this called again? What type of cutting? Access cutting, correct. Someone's paying attention.
Yes.
I love it.
I came from Alaska.
All right, now I'm gonna get my Rusk wire. It's a flexible styling cream. I use this on a lot of my haircut clients to create the style after. We want to emulsify that into the hands, the palms of the hands, and just kind of work that in. It smells good too. Okay. And then I'm going to diffuse her out, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, you can see the shape coming along real nice. Are y'all excited to use this technique and haircut?
Absolutely.
Right. When I first learned this technique, I was pretty excited to get ready to teach all you guys. So, gotta learn to grow. And I'm using my hand. You can always use a brush or round brush, whatever you're comfortable with. My girl has already naturally wavy hair, so that's why I'm diffusing her and just kind of going with my hand, just so you can see all that texture and movement in there. It's cute, right? Almost like a curtain bang.
I love it.
Thank you. I'm so excited for you to go out and use this on your clients. All right. You can see it. Woo-hoo. Look at my girl.
Good. I like the
Do you
color
like it?
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like the color?
Yes.
Yeah, you see that lived in color, real nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've got her diffused out, I'm going to go with my Weightless Plus hairspray. Now with this hairspray, you always want to do bottle length away when spraying. So, you know, because it's got a strong hold. And what I'm going to do is just spray it a little bit so these bangs can stay in place. She's got a dinner to go to, so we want this style to last long.
Yay.
Can y'all see that? Do y'all see that shape we created?
Beautiful.
And the color, I'm just so excited for the color. You know, when you do a color technique and a certain haircut technique and they marry into each other, then you know that your job is done as a stylist.
Yay.
What do you think, guys?
Woo!
Thank you.